Hello there my Jedi and Sith friends, my Mandalorians, my Megalorians, and I think I see a hairdryer joining us. Oh sorry, that's just Dio. My bad. Please, roll on in. Welcome to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your friend, and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. Today we're going to be talking about the next Star Wars movie hitting our screens in May of next year, Star Wars Starfighter by Shawn Levy. In terms of the future slate of content, super pumped for Ahsoka Season 2, very excited for more Shadow Lord, and by the way, Sam Witwer recently said the finale is epic. I have a feeling that the entirety of that animated series was filmed as one batch of episodes, and they've just split them in half, making 2 seasons. I say that because Sam also said his favourite quote from the show hasn't appeared yet. He mentioned it halfway through season 1. We all assumed it was something maybe with Vader in the finale, but now he says that that quote is going to be in the 2nd season. So lots to look forward to, but more than anything, the big Star Wars movie dropping in the same year as Star Wars Celebration in LA. And today we have some very exciting updates. For your convenience, I'll also just flash some timestamps so you can browse through and go to whatever section you want, because I know some of you might want to skip ahead to the Rey part, some of you want to hear about the rumours being true, so just keep watching or go to the topic that you want. But like I said, a lot of updates. The first is that we now know when we should be getting our first teaser trailer for the movie. And I say should be getting because nothing is officially confirmed, but the reason we should be excited is that for D23 Expo, the weekend of August 14th, Lucasfilm has now confirmed their presence. The Lucasfilm Pavilion returns with an exciting array of photo ops, props, and costumes from current and upcoming stories set in a galaxy far, far away. And if that sounds familiar, my friends, it should. They did something very similar in 2024. At the very same D23 Expo event, we got our first look at Skeleton Crew. And it's also worth noting that some of the trailers were behind closed doors, the one for The Mandalorian and Grogu, and all Season 2, but the Skeleton Crew one was public. So I suppose the question is, of all the upcoming projects, which one are they going to showcase? Is it going to be more Shadow Lord, Ahsoka, or the one which I think is the most likely out of all of them, the next big Star Wars movie? Following The Mandalorian and Grogu box office, we know that Disney needs a win. They admitted themselves that Starfighter is the big test, so they're going to want to start marketing it pretty early. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the fact that Ryan Gosling is attached is going to do wonders for the movie, especially for the so-called casual fan. And I will just say, my friends, I think this film is going to be full of surprises. A lot of people are already dismissing this one. They're saying it's going to be another flop. The same people who bash anything Disney puts out are already saying, this film is going to do awfully. But I'm telling you, I think it might surprise us. I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know, for a fact if it's going to do well or not. I'm hoping it does, but I think it stands a very good chance. A much stronger chance than The Mandalorian and Grogu. But now, my friends, let's get on to the big juicy stuff, and probably one of the big reasons you clicked on this video in the first place. The rumours, the early rumours, might be true. Now, with a big caveat, if you want to know about the Rey stuff, I will come onto that in just a moment, but I want to begin with Amy Adams. She's someone who's collaborated with Shawn Levy for many, many years. She's a huge actress, a household name you might say, and when it was revealed that she'd be in Starfighter, I think a lot of fans got really excited. The Mara Jade rumours were swelling about, but one of the big ones was the general notion that, regardless of the character she plays, she possesses the Force. And then just a few weeks ago, a pretty new Star Wars scooper on the scene who's been quite reliable at this point, came out and said, Amy Adams doesn't have much screen time. The character dies pretty early on in the film, and she sends her son, played by Flynn Grey, to go and find his uncle, Amy Adams' character's brother. In her dying breath, she gives him her lightsaber and sends him on a mission to find the character played by Ryan. And this was all just hearsay. But today, my friends, Amy Adams seems to have confirmed this, not in regards to her character's death, but the short screen time, which might imply the early story rumours were true. Here's what she said. I had a very small part in the film. I love getting to see all the props, and I went to the creature shop twice. So yeah, she confirms she's only in the movie for a very small part. Some fans are a bit disappointed about this. It's Amy Adams. I get it. Fans wanted to see her in a more extensive role, but it is what it is. It's better than being dragged along and baited. So now we know, and we have our expectations in check. She also mentions that the standout star of the movie is Flynn Grey. Lucasfilm likes to set up characters when they're young and explore them in depth. across various mediums, shows, and films. But that's the reality of the situation, and I trust that the movie is written and structured a very specific way. But Amy Adams also reaffirms something which Shawn Levy said a few months back, that this movie has some classic and new Star Wars aliens. I'd love to think someone like Chewie might be in this. Again, just complete conjecture. But returning to Amy Adams, if the rumors are true that her character dies early on, then maybe the mission to get the kid to someone safe like Rey, someone who could train him in the ways of the Force, could also be true. But this is where we have to be careful, because the question of Rey, is she in it, is she not in it, has come up once again. And the same leaker now says this: I keep getting asked if Rey is going to be in Starfighter. I've been told yes, I've been told no. At this point, I genuinely don't know. And this is actually very much in line with things that I've heard from someone who I've been in contact with. And again, I do want you to take this with a huge pinch of salt, but what they told me is that initially, Daisy Ridley was contacted. She was brought in to discuss some of the early concepts. You know, she was part of early development. They were talking about ways to connect her to the story before the Rey movie because she is part of the post-Episode 9 universe. But at some point, they're implying that maybe Lucasfilm changed their minds. I don't know if Daisy was written into the scripts. I don't know if she was on set. I don't know if she filmed something secretly as a cameo or something. But it seems as though initially, she was brought in. The implication is that maybe something changed. Do you guys remember when Shawn Levy said that the entire third act had changed? I wonder if this had something to do with Daisy. I wonder if they had filmed some scenes, but then decided to go a different direction with it. I wish I had something more concrete to tell you. But initially, Daisy was part of those conversations, but they never heard word of a follow-up. We know it's a standalone, but according to Jeff Snyder, there are going to be some wider Star Wars universe connections. Apparently Dave Filoni wants a connective through line. Is it going to be Rey? Who knows? Another option is maybe through Ben Solo, even though he's dead. At this point, there might be a new iteration of imposters who try to mimic the Knights of Ren. It might even be the new version of them, ever since Kylo left. They're an ancient order who started with Chimera, and they've undergone many different evolutions. We might see the latest in Starfighter. Assuming she survives the comics, maybe we'll see Tavaren, who tried to seduce Kylo. And so finally, my dear friends, just to finish on a lighter note, the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art is opening very soon, and they just announced via their socials their new receptionist. That's right, R2-D2. I really can't wait to see all of the exhibits. But with that said, my friends, that is all we have for today's video. A couple of exciting, maybe exciting Starfighter updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for that teaser. And if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Check out my last video where I broke down different reveals from the Art of Andor book. But until the next one, my friends, may the Force be with you, always.